Hey, Intuitive Soul Tribe. Melissa, Intuitive Soul Coach here, excited to bring to you today's reading where we take a deep dive into the Tower. So for those of you that have recently undergone a major surprise, shift, or awakening in your world, even if it's happened years ago and you're still recovering, picking up the pieces of something that changed or altered your world in a very significant way, then there may be something in this reading for you. So please do take what resonates and leave the rest behind. If you are interested in a personal reading or entering into the free monthly reading giveaway, you can find both of those links in the description box below. All right, so beautiful souls, I rarely ever know what messages are going to come up on a collective level when I do these Saturday readings, because I sit in meditation and I just channel information from the divine of what the collective needs to hear at this time or whenever you find this video. And this was actually a very, very important yet impactful reading that is here to help you navigate with more ease, with more clarity, and head towards more light and truth than maybe you were able to see in that moment of the Tower. Or for those of you that are still picking up the pieces and you're still trying to find the silver lining, we're going to dive into that during this reading here. But also we're going to take a look at action steps that you can take to help you move forward with more ease and with more hope than maybe you've had in the past. So right away here, it doesn't surprise me that the crumbling came up. This literally depicts the energy of the Tower in tarot, and we will pull some tarot cards at the end as well, but it says the crumbling. What are you clinging to? So yes, this is the overall energy of what we want to talk about today. And for those of you that haven't gone through a Tower moment recently, or you don't feel like there's been any big changes, you may be attracted to or resonating towards this reading because there could be some big shifts happening in the near future for you, whether on a global or collective level, in a personal level, whether it's your career, your relationships, your health. This is to help prepare you for what's to come. And for those of you that have already gone through it, it's to help you see the silver lining on the other side. When you look at this picture here, you can see that there's a tower and it's been hit by lightning, but on the other side is something more beautiful than we could have ever imagined. And we have a hard time seeing that when everything is crumbling down and all we can see is the ashes and the storm and the clouds. We have a hard time feeling why did something happen the way it did, right? And as I was sitting in meditation, I actually got quite emotional because the way I was seeing it was kind of like a projection screen where I was seeing the lives of all of you, whoever I'm tuning into it on the collective right now, whether it has been a Tower moment because of, a job loss, whether it was a death of a family member, a death of a loved one on the physical sense, on the emotional sense. For some of you, it was, mental health. It was physical health. It could have been, I'm getting natural disaster in your location. Some of you, this has to do with money, finances as well. Maybe bankruptcy. You may have been stolen, lied to. There could have been a traumatic experience that had happened in your life that had to do with family members even, or it could have been a relationship that crumbled and it was something that you may have been clinging onto for quite some time. So as I was seeing all of these scenarios taking place, I feel that a lot of you see the shattering for what it was. It's something that really came in to offer you freedom. And that's ultimately what the Tower is all about. And so sometimes when we see a Tower moment showing up in our readings, right, whether it's in the future or even if it's in the past or the foundation, we tend to tense up and we tend to feel a little bit of anxiety because we don't want to feel or see whatever may come crumbling down around us, because it can cause a lot of panic, anxiety, fears, and worries. And sometimes we want to hightail it in the other direction. We don't want the Tower to show up as the outcome or in our environment, but it is inevitable. I have yet to know a person here on planet Earth who has not went through a Tower moment and will go through many, many more here on Earth. So I do feel that this is a very important reading to help shed light on what you are currently going through and the whys possibly, because I am getting that a lot of you have been asking, why did I go through this illness? Or why did this person have to leave my world? Why did I lose this job when I was doing so well? Or why on a collective level did this happen in my area? Or why did this earthquake have to hit here? Or this fire destroy my home? Or why did I have to lose my baby child, right? All of these things that happen to us, they happen for our evolution, for us to grow and evolve. And I feel that a lot of you are working through this clinging process here where we do tend to cling to something that we've lost. Now, I'm not saying if there's been someone that has crossed over in your world, which we do see that showing up, which we'll talk about here in the future, but there's been people that have crossed over. Now, it doesn't mean cut the cords and detach from that, but it's saying that the person that has crossed over, there are actually quite a few of you who've lost loved ones. And the message here is to move forward with holding them in your heart, but living your best life because they are proud of you and they want you to do the things that may be scary, may be difficult, and it may be that you didn't want them to miss out on a big pivotal moment in your life, such as getting married or having a child or getting that promotion or starting that business. They have not missed out. They can still tune into your energy. They still hear when you want to connect with them. So it's very important for those of you that maybe holding yourself back or hindering because of a tower moment, whatever it may have been, this is for you to grow and evolve and to open your heart up even more than you could have thought possible. And actually, the card that came out from behind this tower, and the way they showed me it was in a triangular type of energy here. So these two cards came out as the base, and I feel here that yes, this clarifies what we're talking about in this entire reading is the tower, but right behind it, it says the ever unfolding rose cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. So I had to chuckle as these two cards came out because again, there's no such thing as coincidence. And as I sat in meditation, I just felt the emotions, the empathy of all of you out there. I mean, I've had my own tower moments and I'll continue to have them. We all will, whether it's on the collective level of what's going on around the world or, in our personal lives. But a big piece of what's going on now in our personal lives is to help prepare us for what's going on around. And when we can finally navigate through some of those challenges, some of those anxieties and stresses that are occurring in our own personal life, then we're able to, and you can hear the airplane there, but you can navigate with more ease to the things that show up in our outer world. But first, we must navigate through the inner world of the things that have happened personally for us. So yes, the crumbling, what are you clinging to? And it's cracking you wide open. It's happening for you, not to you. You haven't been singled out, beautiful soul, and you haven't been pointed a finger at a draw of a hat and saying that this person, I'm just going to have them, go through this job loss because it's just inevitable. Everybody's going through this and we're just going to pick them. These things are happening for your evolution, and you are not singled out because of, something that you've done in the past or something that's, you deserve. There is, of course, the law of karma. There is the energy of what you put out there, you'll get in return. And if a lot of you have gone through a karmic situation, a karmic relationship, or a pattern, it is here to teach you, and you already knew about it. So if there is fear around this energy of what's to come, for one, you're protected. For two, you have more strength than you realize. And for three, you have that divine power within you that you can tap into at any time and remember why something is happening for you, remembering what that evolution is all about. And we're going to dive into messages from the Work Your Light Oracle here. This is about total transformation. This reminds me of the Death card in Tarot. And it says, things are changing at a cellular level. This is about deep, deep healing. So yes, whether it is a karmic cycle that you are healing, or whether it's to prepare you for the shifts coming in, or perhaps there was a deep loss, there may have been an illness or a situation that really sprung upon you to get your attention for a deep awakening. Some of you, it could have been a near-death experience. It could have been the loss of a loved one or an illness that you suffered or a close family member around you as well, to wake you up to taking things at a different approach, because they're showing me the Hanged Man mixed with the Judgment. And like I said, we'll pull some cards at the end as well. But I'm getting that rebirth energy of the death, Phoenix rising from the ashes, not resisting the change that is happening on a deeper level, because on the other side of it is something more beautiful and more magical than anything that if you would have stayed in. Okay, if you would have stayed in that job, or if you would have stayed in that relationship, or if this situation didn't happen for you. Now, again, if it was a situation that you were in, that you felt loved and you felt good and you felt safe, and something, boom, came in and it shattered your world. Now, of course, those tower moments happen as well, but it is something that you already knew about, and it was for your evolution. And the biggest lesson of that is about you moving forward and being able to live life through some sort of challenging experience and create more peace, more light, more compassion, and more love here on earth. If you have went through a situation where you've lost a loved one, you could use that energy of that experience to maybe start a foundation, or to help those that have maybe crossed over from cancer, or autoimmune, or some sort of energy here you're able to use for the good to help uplift mankind and humanity. So that could be a big reason for something that had happened for you, that you may have thought, why me? Why did I have to lose this person? Or why did that happen to me when it was going so good, right? And then we tend to build up maybe blame, resentment, bitterness. We think, what could I have done more? What could I have done to stop this from happening? When the tower shows up, most of the time, beautiful souls, it is inevitable. It is something that we can't always see why it happens. We can't always feel or tune into that energy, because we have the feelings of grief, right? We have those feelings of emotions that tend to take over based on all experiences we have in life. But a lot of you are realizing, or you will come to that realization sooner rather than later, of why something happened the way it did. They're also talking about journaling. So for some of you, you may have journaled an experience that could help other people. Maybe you turn it into a book or a memoir. For others of you, journaling or writing your thoughts down could be very therapeutic, very helpful. Some of you, you've been maybe rejected, fired from that job, or let go of that situation, or that relationship, or that friendship came to an end. In order for you to answer the call, what is your soul calling you to do? Maybe you had that illness, right, that had kept you captive in your home for months, or it may have brought you to a new state of awareness where you were able to focus on all your other senses, because maybe you lost your sight, maybe you lost your hearing, maybe you lost your touch. It could be to heighten other areas of your life. And I want you to think of that showing up for you in this present moment. How else can I use this opportunity for the greater good of my own soul? How can I look at this from the silver lining and see why something happened, and how I can become a better version of myself and grow and evolve and heal because of something that has happened to me? What is your soul calling you to do at this time? Some of you, that tower may have been leaving the corporate world and starting your own business. For others of you, you may have had a tower moment where you had a falling out with, a child or with a parent. There could have been a move. Maybe you've moved across the country or moved to another continent, right? Because of something that had shifted or happened. Not all towers are bad, right? We tend to fear the unknown. That is one of humans' greatest fears, is the unknown. unknown. And so this tower could have been a shift that really altered and changed your world, but you're realizing it was the best thing that could have ever happened to you. Maybe that person that cheated on you 5 years ago, you are realizing that it happened because it's getting you into this relationship with the partner of your dreams that truly respects you, right? Perhaps you weren't able to get pregnant for years and years and years on end because it's put you in this place of mind, body, and soul where you fully are able to be there, where maybe in the past there was a situation that was calling or demanding your attention where you wouldn't have been able to bring about this energy in the best way that you chose to have prior to incarnating into this lifetime. Perhaps that loss of a loved one that had happened had opened your heart up on a bigger level for you to take a look at your own family dynamics and shift and alter some ancestral wounding or pain, or to truly forgive or heal a situation that may have been ancestral or may have been repetitive. Maybe you've navigated towards the same type of relationships or the same patterns that were imprinted on you, and you've done that to your children. So if you can see that the reason these towers show up for you isn't to make your life miserable, beautiful souls, it's not to put you down in that lower vibration into that hole and bury that hole with dirt, right? It's to teach you, it's to help you evolve, and it is to break you wide open, like this flower says here. It's the ever unfolding, to crack you wide open so you can see things that you weren't able to see before. So what we have now is the initiation. This is a rite of passage, crossing the threshold. This reminds me of the Six of Swords energy. So some of you may have been in an abusive relationship. You may have been in an abusive family dynamic growing up, or you may have been in a job where people were emotionally or even physically abusing or harassing you based on color, based on sex, based on age, right? You've had these things happen, but now you're able to shed light because look at that. There's this dark, deep tunnel, and there's the storm clouds, there's the tower, but on the other side is truth, is clarity, is understanding. And sometimes we have these tower moments come into our lives so we can be the trailblazer, so we can shed light on these things so they do not happen to others, right? We may have chose to be in the front lines, just like a soldier chooses to be in the front lines to go to battle, to help protect and to serve, right? That is what they believe their soul mission is. This may have been a soul mission that you chose to have in this lifetime. And yes, it may have been difficult for you to do, but you may be the one that is exposing some sort of darkness or imbalance or injustice, right? And it's not going to be easy, or it hasn't been easy for you, but it is going to make you stronger, right? You're going to come out from this energy feeling empowered because you have taken steps towards your soul mission. This is about a rite of passage. Again, it's just like that judgment card as well, which I'm feeling strongly. So I'll be curious to see if that shows up. But that is about changing your life for the better. It's about changing the lives of others for the better by maybe you making that first step, for you being the one that shines that flashlight in the dark and other people can follow that path because you are that trailblazer. So if things have happened to you where you've had to kind of speak your truth, or you've had to speak about things, or you've even had to say things that were difficult to say, it's because you were meant to come here to, again, blast that past forward, regardless of how difficult or challenging it was. But look at that. On the other side is more beauty. When you take away this darkness, which you are shedding light to, on the other side is something quite beautiful. Now, right in the middle of your triangular here, we have deep replenishment. It says retreat, rest, be held. Some of you have gone through a tower moment because your body, your mind, your soul was tired, right? You were tired on a bone, on a cellular, on a soul level. You just felt depleted. And sometimes that's where illnesses can happen. Maybe we've been running ourselves on empty for years and years and years. Perhaps we've been people pleasers, that we've done things for everyone else, but not ourselves. Sometimes we have these tower moments that, yes, we create within ourselves in order for us to take on a new direction that we would normally be fearful to say, well, I'm just going to go in this direction now, right? Sometimes we need that tower moment to come in and shift the course of our direction so we're able to do it more then we're forced to do it, right? We're forced to do what it is that we've longed to do or what we've wanted to do for quite some time, but maybe we weren't able to step into it without a little bit of a push. And I'm getting here deep replenishment. This is a time for a lot of you, especially if you're watching it now, regardless of when the tower moment has happened or if it's something coming up, to really replenish your soul. Like I said, even if this is something that happens on a global level, if it happens on a collective level where we're all tuning in and it's affecting our outer worlds, this is about you being ready. This is about a preparation, an awakening happening within, because that tower moment ultimately is about shattering your belief system, right? It really has to do with your own inner world. It really doesn't always have anything to do with the outer world. I mean, yes, it can project into manifesting into the outer world. However, it typically stems from the inner belief system. So the things that we have happen to us shift our belief system. And this is a time for you to really get straight on what your morals are, what you believe, what is it that is most important to you, right? And this is the moment for you to really take a deep dive into who you are, what your soul mission is, and what you wanted to accomplish here on earth so you can move forward with more ease and more trust, because that has been difficult for you, is the trust piece. And we see that showing up here from messages from spirit, that trust is something that a lot of you are being called to take and to dive into at this time. We also have soul family. Call in your soul tribe. You don't have to do it alone. Now, a lot of you have felt singled out. A lot of you have felt like you've been walking an isolated path, right? You felt maybe abandoned, rejected, or let down. Perhaps you felt like you haven't been able to connect with your spiritual team, or you felt abandoned from the universe. Especially when those deep, deep things happen in our lives, we tend to pull back. But spirit doesn't cut off that source from us. We tend to disconnect because we get into our emotions. And remember, emotions are just side effects of a situation or an event that happens. We are the ones that disconnect to source. And spirit is saying here, you are not alone. Regardless of how alone you feel you are always connected to this beautiful, beautiful, universal divine light. And you're going to realize that there's magical, miraculous moments that are happening for you in this lifetime. And I feel like you will be seeing that if you haven't already, because you can see the whales in the background, the dolphins, which are about playfulness, about communication. They're very spiritual beings. And look at that. She can see. She's mirrored up against her own energy. So this is her being able to tune into her higher self as well. See things for what they are. There may be mirrors reflected to you in relationships, or you're able to see patterns. You're able to heal triggers. You're able to break free from that ancestral wounding or patterns that have been ingrained for lifetimes, right? This is something you're able to see clearly moving forward. Now, what else do we have here? Speaking of triggers, we have mirror, which we were just talking about here. I haven't even looked too much at the cards besides if they came out. I like to read them as we go along, but it says here, who or what is triggering you? So this is a time for you to take a look at what is triggering you. What are your fears? Where are they coming from? What is the root of the problem? What really inside another person is showing up that could be a piece of your own self? Is it a projection of what they're going through? Is it something that we've gone through? Is it a piece that we don't love to see within ourselves that we're seeing in another person? So really take a look at the triggers and feel them, because sometimes we numb them. Sometimes we suppress them. For one, beautiful souls, your soul chose to incarnate into this lifetime right now, right here. You are here for a reason. This wasn't just a draw of the hat. You chose to come here at a very, very pivotal, important time in history, a time where we are evolving on this planet, right? It is shifting at a higher frequency. We are shifting into that frequency of more love and more compassion, but also more truth. And I am sensing that you're able to see things more clearly instead of that mirror being all steamed up by fog, by things that you weren't able to see because of the storm that has hit prior. Now you're able to wipe it clean and you're able to see things that you weren't able to see before. And that may be part of the tower happening for you. We have here birthing a new age, birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. Yes, this is about a new world, right? We're in that 5D. We're in that frequency of a higher vibration. And you're seeing this happening all around, right? And you're able to tune into the energy. And a lot of you are practicing more spiritual work. You may have done a lot of shadow work, a lot of healing, maybe even talking to therapists, healers, mentors, coaches, guides, or you yourself have been called to be a light worker, to shed truth, or to uplift the energy of the planet, right? This is about you birthing a new age and taking a different step in a new direction than maybe you've done yet in this lifetime, because you're waking up to this whole. You're aligning even more so with another soul mission that you chose here to come here and do. So if you are shifting on this cellular level, which I believe you are, and things are happening around you at a very rapid speed, what's actually happening is we are doing a lot of different quantum leaps. We are shifting paradigm shifts and we are jumping at a very rapid pace here. So this is about you being able to prepare yourself and plan yourself, where typically it may take 3 years of doing some sort of deep healing, where now it may take 6 months to do some inner work. So please do know that the tower moments that are showing up, I'm not going to say they're going to be not challenging at all, but you're going to be able to heal from them, see the reason behind the tower, and navigate through them with more ease and more clarity than you've ever done in the past. Okay, it doesn't mean that they're not going to happen, but it's just a preparation, because your soul has been training this whole lifetime for the shifts that are happening and occurring all around you. Now you have here Council of Light, divine orchestration, helpers in the subtle realms. Absolutely. This is about you calling upon the ascended masters, the light beings, your guides, your angels, your loved ones in spirit, your pets and animals, your ancestors, right? This can be ancestors that have had maybe even a religious background, because they're showing me rosary beads and they're showing me robes as well. Now, I'm not quite sure about what background each religion holds, but I feel like you may have been brought up in they're Catholic, some of you Catholic, or it could have been okay, they're just showing me different, again, they're showing me it on a projection screen. So a lot of different backgrounds, or maybe you've been born again, or maybe you were raised in a certain environment, but you've gone more on that truth-seeking spiritual path. You may still align with a certain spiritual background or religion, but it's about you connecting to the energy of love, because ultimately that is the common denominator between all religions, right? Is that energy of love and light. And I do feel here for you, a lot of you are tuning in to this energy, and it may be showing up in different ways than you were taught. You may start to see, signs of other lives, right? Other planets, other beings, other light beings, other entities. You may start to see things, channel things, feel things, know things, believe in new things, right? Because you're being guided at this time in this realm, this subtle realm. The Council of Light is helping you prepare yourself and open up to this new way of being, living, and creating this heaven on earth. And your final card here is Unbound, releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. Yes. This is about you freeing yourself. That ultimately is what that tower is all about. It is about liberation. It is about a sudden revelation that offers freedom for you to shatter the old to make way for new. It is about an unexpected change that can awaken us on a deep, deep level. When I look back on all of the towers that have happened in my life, I give gratitude because it's probably, if not one of the most important things that has shifted my life. And I give thanks that those things happen to me, because even though when we're in the midst of it, we can't always see that we're actually freeing ourselves because we hang tight. We are having a human experience, and humans get attached to outcomes. They get attached to relationships. They get attached, right? This thing called attachment. And look at that. There's the cords there that are attaching, right? We have gravity, and we have all of these earthly things that we feel attached and tethered to. And the tower comes in to free us from those attachments. And this is about you freeing yourself so you can live a life of more compassion, more abundance, and more victory is what I'm hearing. More victory for a lot of you in all areas of your life. Now, questions that your soul's truth can really dive into, and I suggest if you are taking notes to really dive in and practice some of these action steps, because it can help you move forward with more ease and heal on a rapid pace, and even take those quantum leaps and jumps into this new paradigm shift because of what tower moments have happened for you. It's actually projecting you at a very fast pace. For those of you that have had these show up recently, or for those of you that are going to see more of those changes happening in your life, there's going to be fast-paced energy, I feel, especially around March, April, and May. But whenever you feel compelled to listen to this reading, it may be happening for you right at this time. How can I surrender even more in this moment? It is essential to have clear, strong intentions of what we desire, but it's equally important for us to detach from the outcome. I love this. Yes, detach. We were just talking about detachment. Let the universe have some breathing room. Let go of the wheel and trust so deeply that your trust turns into gratitude for what you cannot see yet, but you know is coming. Today's soul action. Know this, beautiful soul, so deeply that your soul vibrates. You are not alone. Your life has purpose, and the more you surrender, the more God can produce miracles in your life. Today's mantra. I surrender. I accept all that I cannot change. I release the outcome, and I joyfully trust the process. Wow, what a beautiful card here that talks about, detachment, which we just seen. It talks about trust, which we'll see here in the future, which is your top card. And it also talks about you not being alone, which was showing up in one of the cards as well. So beautiful clarification from your soul, talking about surrendering, because when we hold on to an attachment, or we hold on to the energy of fear, right? Tower moment came in, we lost our job. Now what? And we lower our vibration because we're fearful, right? We're fearful that we're going to lose everything because we are attached to those things that we need here on earth. And I get it, right? I get it. I've been through those tower moments as well. But the more that we can surrender, the quicker that we can make that quantum leap to attracting what it is that is in our best and highest good. Maybe it's an even better job than you had before. Perhaps it's a better relationship. Perhaps it is healing a health issue where you've been told that you cannot come back from, right? Maybe it is being able to repair a relationship that has been less than repairable with a family member. Or maybe it is extreme forgiveness where you didn't think you'd ever be able to forgive this person for the hurt that they've done. Now, it doesn't mean that you surrendering, it isn't a sign of weakness, or, so many people mix up vulnerability for weakness, surrender for weakness. I can't surrender. I have to stand my ground. I have to do this. When we feel like we have to do anything, we put that energy out into the universe of pushing against what is trying to come to us. So when we do not surrender, when we do not lay down our sword, when we're constantly ready to fight or flight, right? We're ready for whatever comes at us. It can actually push what is meant for us to come in, right? And this is about you surrendering so much and trusting in the things that you cannot see. Next we have here, who can I serve today? In a world lacking soul-to-soul connection, small and simple acts are what creates the biggest and most lasting impact. We shift our own pain and experience an avalanche of love when we lose ourselves in the service of others. Who needs you today, beautiful soul? Who is it? Is it the person that is, feeling blue at the grocery store that you come across, or the person that you see crying at the park? Perhaps it is, the people on your social media pages, or maybe you've created a YouTube channel. Who can you uplift? Who can you serve? Today's soul action. Listen to your heart. Who needs you? Make one soulful connection today and give solely to spread more love, expecting nothing in return. Maybe it's a person that you've seen on maybe a Facebook group that's going through a challenging time. And instead of judging, instead of criticizing, instead of letting anger and fear rise up, maybe one nice word had just saved their life. Maybe one nice act of compassion and kindness maybe just altered their thoughts of what they wanted to do with their own life, or the pain that they were going to impact or press upon another person, right? We don't realize that those small acts of kindness for others help shift the vibration of the planet. And if some of you are thinking, well, what if I want someone to do that for me, right? Why can't I have that? Why do I have to be the one that does that? If you are the one saying that right now, that is a lower vibration frequency. That puts us in victim mode, victim mentality, right? The more that we uplift our energy, the more that we can serve and show compassion and show love in a world that is needing it more so now than ever in humanity. This is when you truly rise to that place of serving without any expectations, without being the victim, without, you judging, criticizing, or degrading yourself or others. This is about you serving from that energy of unconditional love. And that right there is the sole purpose of why so many of us have come here to planet Earth. Next we have here, from whom can I release my judgment right now? And we were just talking about this in a sense as well. So I love how the cards are flowing beautifully together. But this is talking about judgment, right? Whether we judge ourselves. And I was getting that judgment energy as well. And again, I don't read these cards prior. I put them out so we can navigate through them together. But I will pull some tarot cards here at the end. But I am sensing that strong judgment energy. And what judgment does, beautiful souls, is it closes our heart to truth. And that's why we are here on planet Earth, to spread truth and light right now at this day and age. This judgment separates us from love. It binds us to our fear and holds us in shame. On whom are you placing judgment right now? Is it someone in your life? Is it yourself? Release the shackles, drop the expectations, and be grateful for what is. Today's soul action. Look at the person you are judging as if you are looking at a small child. See them learning and growing, falling down and making mistakes. See their desire to be more loved and accepted. Add even more grace to open your heart to this truth. When I lift the judgment for myself and others, I uncover my own truth. I am loved. I am whole. I am limitless, and so are they. Really powerful here. And I'm getting that a lot of you who have had a falling out, or if you've had a difficult time with someone in your life, that mirror is coming back to me here. And we've seen that mirror showing up in your reading. And this is about you uncovering your own truth, right? And perhaps it is to release these judgments that sometimes we tend to fill ourselves with because of the pain of that emotion that a situation brought us. This is about releasing judgment and helping others do the same. Next we have, am I apologizing for my truth? Are you someone that says, I'm sorry often, right? Are you someone that says, maybe I shouldn't be heard right now, or, oh, excuse me, right? Excuse me, I have something to say, but if, go ahead and if it's not the right time, if it's not the right place, I can just shove it back down, right? No, this isn't time for you to shove your truth down. This is time for you to speak your truth. Don't apologize for it. Okay, some of you, it may be a hard truth to speak, but do it anyway. That is what you are being called to do, beautiful souls. What part of you is apologizing for your truth and why? Today's soul action. Today, be proud of your truth. Catch yourself when you want to apologize or withhold parts of it. You never know whose life you will change when you are brave enough to speak it. Be the lighthouse that shines on the courage that lives in us all. This will give others permission to speak their own truth. There is room for all of us. Today's mantra, courage is contagious, right? Courage is vulnerability. Courage is surrendering, right? When we surrender, when we become vulnerable, when we speak our truth and not apologize for it, when we step into our greatest power, right? When we release judgments, when we are able to serve from this place of love, we are able to really embrace courage and spread more of it, spread that vibration. This is about doing things even though you may be fearful. Perhaps you've had a background where children should be seen and not heard, or both. Maybe you weren't able to speak up for yourself when you were younger because someone didn't acknowledge you there. Maybe the words that you spoke, other people didn't listen, or they said that you're wrong, you're bad, you're negative, you're evil, or you won't amount to anything, or you're dumb, or you're stupid, right? What if all these things were just impressed onto you, but they do not hold any truth? Therefore, they are not true. This is about you not apologizing for who you are, because who you are is love, right? Is limitless, just like this says here. And you are bringing joy to so many others. And that is part of why we go through these tower moments, to break us wide open so we can realize that our truest potential of all doesn't come without a struggle. It doesn't come without a challenge, but we can rise to the top in that energy of courage, and we can say, I did it, right? I did this. This was part of my lesson. I've overcame this. And you could feel that sense of inner pride, not because a million people follow you, or not because you have 1,000 likes on a picture. It's because you yourself, without anybody else acknowledging it, you feel proud of you. And that is a big lesson that so many of us are learning. And next here, how can I be more kind to myself and offer more grace in this very moment? Growing our self-love is medicine to this world's broken hearts. When you heal, beautiful souls, we all heal. When you give yourself more grace, you are able to give the world more grace. Today's soul action, look at yourself with a grace filter. You are meant to be in this moment of your life. Release the inner critic and fill in that hole with your soul's truth, that you are infinite, you are loved, and you are already there. When you start to really align with this energy, you're going to realize, you're going to chuckle at some of those tower moments, and you're going to realize that it's all part of, this evolution, part of this call, part of your purpose here. To heal the wounds, to head towards your calling, to release judgments, to release those triggers in order for us to feel completely alive and untethered, right? You don't have to become a Buddhist monk, or you don't have to, live this purity of pure life in order for you to be free of these restraints and these limiting beliefs and these patterns. You just have to do a little bit of that inner work, right? Are you afraid to be seen? The world doesn't want you to hold back any longer. It's time to shine your unique light on the world. You are made from love, and from love you are whole. There is no more hiding. There is no more shame. There is only truth. Live naked and free. Yes. Live without attachments. We're attached to clothes, right? I mean, of course, there's laws where we have to wear clothes, but right in the very beginning, even, depending on, I'm not saying in one way or the other way is right or wrong, because there's duality here on earth and we're taught certain things, right? But if everyone would live naked and free and not afraid of the attachments, the judgments, the criticisms, then we probably would, right? But this is about seeing the truth of who you are, right? I'm not saying go run around and go streaking. You may get a ticket, but go for it if you want. But this says here, what parts of you do you hide so you can be socially accepted and fit in? Am I being authentic? Do you allow yourself to be all of you? What do you need to feel, beautiful souls, so you can feel safe to be seen? Journal your answers. And there's that journaling that I was picking up on earlier as well. Next we have, am I ready to let go of this buried shame? The feeling of shame is the lowest energy frequency there is. When you live in shame, you live in darkness. What part of you is ready to stand in the light? Is there any shame from a past experience that is ready to be healed? Remember what I said earlier about you being that trailblazer and maybe speaking something that had happened so you can help others speak their truth as well? This could be about you sharing a family I don't want to say sharing a family secret as if the sharing is caring, right? But it could be something that breaks a ancestral pattern. It could be sharing something that was difficult from your past. And maybe it's just you sharing it with a healer or a therapist, but it's something that is going to be important for you to release or get out. Or maybe you're writing it in a book or sharing it with the world, right? It doesn't matter if you touch one life or many, or if you express yourself to one person or millions, right? This is about you letting go of the buried shame, however you need to do that. Heal the shame by giving it a name. Bring it to the light and let it be seen, heard, and healed. It's revival season, so replace the shame with your soul's truth. Fill in the blank. My soul's truth is blank. And we just talked about a lot of them. You are limitless. You are lovable. You are worthy. Whatever your soul's truth is, fill in that blank. Write that down. Remind yourself every day, all day long, that you are amazing. You are limitless. You are lovable. That you are courageous. That you are proud of yourself. You are amazed at how far you've come, right? And last but not least, beautiful souls, we're going to take a look and get messages from, let's see here, what deck this is, Spirit Messages. The first card out here we have is Trust. This is about you trusting in your inner guidance, because it says the logical path may be one that you consider safe and more familiar, but you could be missing out on boundless opportunities and so much more. So for those of you that haven't had a tower moment, or maybe you're trying to manifest a tower because you feel you don't have the courage to fully let go or detach from something, right? I feel that if that is you, you're going to see that tower show up out of the blue and shift the trajectory, but it's something that you want. Don't let your logical mind dictate this clear direction when your soul is calling you to move forward in this new way. Maybe your mind has said, I really want this job. It pays great. It's great. I really like it. I can grow. But the soul is saying, but my soul mission is to be over here and do this to uplift, or to go back to school, or to move across the world, or take a leap of faith. Trust your soul's calling, not what the logical mind says you should do, because sometimes that can be safe, that can be in our comfort zone, right? But it says here, break free, because there's so many opportunities out there for you, but you need to trust. Next we have Strength, which is showing up again with that courage energy. Strength comes from many sources. Staying strong brings confidence, conviction, and a balanced body, mind, and soul. You're never really alone, as we are always with you. There's another energy of you are not alone. You are courageous. You've been through a lot. I certainly see that, especially as I was seeing that slideshow. There was so much emotion that I had to choke back some sobs as I felt the pain. But we feel that, right? That's what helps us open up and connect to others, is through sometimes that pain. And I do feel here that a lot of you, it could be from a loved one who's crossed over. You have here, hello from heaven. Hello from heaven. Okay, and it says your loved ones in the spirit world want to connect with you as much as you want to connect with them. They know you've been thinking of them, and they're sending you signs and symbols to show how much they love you, to prove they are with you at this time. We have self-sabotage. This is a big thing I find with so many clients, that we tend to self-sabotage because we're based on that energy of victim or judgment or criticism or fears or shame, right? Shame, resentments. When you learn to get out of your own way, there will be no stopping you. Remember what I said earlier about release, when we are vulnerable and we can lay down our swords and we can surrender and walk into the unknown? Sometimes we need to get out of our own way. Most of the time, it's not others who prevent you from achieving your true goals. It's that inner voice that derails those carefully woven plans. Okay. And also, you can see that her eyes are closed. So sometimes, we may not be able to see things clearly, especially as we're going through a tower moment. But that's where that trust and vulnerability piece comes in. Trust. Be vulnerable. You are, again, protected. You have more strength than you know and power beyond what you even have tapped into. So be proud. Be proud of yourself, beautiful souls. Again, you've chosen to incarnate into this lifetime by choice, not by accident. They didn't say to a trillion million different souls, you, and you are going to come down to earth. It's going to be a very hard time. No, you've chose to be in the front lines. You've chose to come in and help shift this world. And it comes at a cost at times. It comes with those challenges. It's time to celebrate those. Celebrate all that you've achieved, all that you are, and all that you will become. Every once in a while, it's important to stop and acknowledge what you've achieved and to be proud. So many times we forget that we've accomplished this, that, or the other thing, right? We forget that, maybe you've birthed babies into the world, or maybe you've gone through a challenging traumatic experience. Maybe you've went to war. Perhaps you've lost a loved one, or you are in a profession where you see loved ones cross over all the time. Perhaps you've lost your home. You've lost your family. Maybe you've been in a fire. You've had a mental illness. Whatever this is here for you, be proud, because these are challenges that we can share and help other people along their course as well. So there's some words that a lot of you have to be told. Don't apologize for your truth. Don't apologize for a situation that may have caused you to be the victim, right? This is about you stepping outside of that victimhood and that mentality and head towards more light. Imagine yourself as being composed of energy and light, because in reality, that's precisely what you are. You are a powerful being, and people are attracted to your brilliance. This is a time to remember how truly vibrant you are. And that is your closing card here. So I love how this is showing up for you, because you're more than you even believe you are. And I feel like you're finally starting to tap in and tune into that energy where so much is shifting here for you that sometimes it can be scary. Sometimes the things are rapidly changing and we don't even realize how we can keep up with what's going on. But you have what it takes, because you are powerful beyond measure. Let's just get a few final cards for you here. What do we have for Temperance? First one up, I see. These other ones are face down. That Temperance card is about blending the energies. It is about self-control. It is about patience as well. So I feel like you've learned to not so much compromise, but you've learned the art of self-control in a very big way. And that's part of why the Tower moment comes in as well, because it teaches us to look beyond, to release some of those expectations, to trust in divine timing. What else do we have showing up here before we end your reading? What do we have? The Emperor. So this could be things outside of your control. It could be you taking the next step when it comes to whatever this may be for you. It's about moving forward. When the Emperor shows up, he's a leader. Now, this could be a paternal energy, someone very powerful. It could be about bringing structure, order, and stability to your life. But learn to question. Learn to question external sources or influences. And if it doesn't jive, don't just let your logical mind dictate that path and go along with it because maybe it feels easier to do. Learn to question. That's a really big message coming in here. You also have here the Five of Cups, Three of Wands, and Knight of Cups. So the Five of Cups is all about you focusing on the future or focusing on, the gratitude, the things that are right in front of you. But sometimes we focus so far in the past and the things that have crumbled, that we forget that we have this beautiful new foundation right in front of us. When you take a look here at this Five of Cups, she's holding on to the flowers there in her hand that are growing, that are still lively. But she's focused on the three flowers that are in the water there. So Spirit is saying, allow yourself the emotions to grieve from a Tower moment, but don't sit in it for too long. This is where that Emperor energy comes in and says it's time to take action, because there's going to be, again, quantum leaps, jumps, and bounds that are taking shape in your life in a very big way. That's going to open you up to new opportunities. Three of Wands, beautiful. This is about you making choices, a return on your investment, staying optimistic and not taking your eye off the prize, but patience comes in here as well. So some of you may have said, oh, Melissa, I had a Tower moment happen 3 years ago and I'm still waiting for my timing here. I'm still waiting for something to happen. The waiting is going to pay off if you're still waiting, because this Knight of Cups is all about you making decisions from the heart to follow your bliss, right? Sometimes we need to go through this replenishment. Remember, you got that replenishment energy of deep healing, and to overcome some of the triggers and take a look at your soul on that soul spiritual level of what you truly are made of. And sometimes we go through that and we do some deep healing along the way, but it puts us on that trajectory, on that energy here of love, compassion, and bliss. This is all about you creating heaven on earth. And it may look different than you thought in the past, but it aligns you with more of where you want to be and what your soul came here to experience. Remember, this is all about the human experience. And I do feel that something's been a long time coming, or something has been difficult trying to balance or be patient with, especially when you want change to happen instantaneously. We want results quickly, right? We live in a world where, everything can be done at a click of a button. So when it doesn't happen in the click of a button, we start to lower our vibrations and get to that point of fear, panic, anxiety, fight or flight. Spirit is saying, be sure to allow yourself to moderate those behaviors, those feelings, those emotions. This is about blending the energy here, enjoying the in-between, because there is going to be an in-between, right? From the Tower falling to this new beginning, there is that in-between of that phoenix rising from the ashes. Don't resist change. Don't hang on to something that is going to bring a new sense of stability in your life. Don't focus so far on something that has been lost that you fail to see what you have right in front of you, or the beautiful new opportunities coming in, because they are coming in with this Three of Wands that really is going to head you towards your just bliss. That's basically bliss is what I'm getting. And take a look at this. Wow, they just showed me this and they're right. They're showing me that very second card or first card here, which is the ever unfolding rose. Now, this may not be a rose, but it's certainly a petal, a flower petal that's unfolding, and that's your final card, and that was one of your first cards. The ever unfolding rose cracked open. It's happening for you. So this is a cracked open flower that she's sitting in, playing the tune of her own heart. So this is about you being in resonance with what your heart truly desires, beautiful souls. This is just wonderful. I love this. So I hope this sheds a little bit of light on the deeper meanings behind the Tower moments and why things happen the way that they do, and how you can move forward with more ease, and action steps that hopefully you can use and maybe even written down to help you move forward. And if this does resonate with you and you want a personal reading, you can certainly find that link in the description box below. And if this does, again, resonate, please feel free to hit that thumbs up button. Feel free to share, comment. I do read each and every one of your comments. I would love to, let's do this. I always love to do little, enterings into the free reading giveaway. And if you don't feel like clicking on the link that sends you to the website, I want you to post an emoji. Post an emoji in the comment box about how you're feeling. Tell me about some sort of Tower moment, something that you've overcome, or you can use words as well, words with emojis. But I'd love to just see, because then we can use our other senses, right? We can use our other senses when it comes to an emoji. And I feel like I feel like a lot of you are waking up to this whole, this energy of why things happened. You're shifting on a cellular deep level. And for those of you that do comment, either an emoji or some sort of tower that you've been through, I'll enter you into that free monthly reading giveaway where I draw one lucky winner around the first of each month. But again, if you haven't already hit that subscribe and bell button, please feel free to do so. Thank you so much for tuning in, beautiful souls. Lots of love and light.